To say I'm nervous or really anything along those lines, it doesn't even describe how I feel right now. I don't remember the last time I streamed, to be frankly honest. I don't remember the last time I streamed, particularly from this location, other than D&D as of late. So, hello. I am working on returning. How are you guys doing? How's everything going? Thank you guys so much for being so patient with me. And unfortunately, the patience is still going to have to continue to an extent. I am going to return. I am going to be streaming. I am going to be doing a lot of stuff. And today is going to be the only time that is planned, the only time that I anticipate actually talking about the last month. Even just the thought is already getting to my emotions and everything else. I appreciate you all so much. And at some point, I will turn the alerts off. But for now, I want to give you guys the chance to do whatever you would like to do. Resubbing, follows, anything that you wanted to do to get an alert for or anything like that. The alerts will be up for the next few minutes or so before we get into the nitty-gritty. Wow, I haven't even started talking about it and I'm already starting to tear up. It's crazy what this last month has included. And it's not all bad. And it's not all sad. But it's been a lot. I'm not even talking about it. Gosh darn it. Body and emotions, stop. For 2 seconds, just please let me talk and seem relatively normal. That's what it's been like. At Lajay, thank you so much for resubbing with that Twitch Prime sub for 5 months. Cherry for 13 months in a row. We here for you, dude. Thank you so much. Sonia Sophie, thank you for resubbing for 14 months. Welcome back. Kyla Marie, thank you so much for using that Twitch Prime sub and welcome to the Illuminati. Lil Paparoni, thank you so much for using that Twitch Prime sub and welcome to the Illuminati. And Kazumi, thank you so much for resubbing for 5 months. Emotions are normal. Emotions are what I've been living with. To an extent, and I'll talk more in depth about that later. Shepsky, thank you so much for resubbing that tier 2 for 20 whole months. Holy cow. Are we getting that close to 2 years since I've been streaming on Twitch? Yeah, I guess October. That's crazy. Hey, Bub, good to see you again. Missed you. Missed you guys, too. To everyone in chat, Miss Worldwide, Madison Ray, Classic JJ, XXE Mobbin Trash XX Lillian Gibso, Reality is Fun, Sarira MR, Sonia Sophie, Nerdy Kitty, GoCath, Ha Dragoon, NB Mess, Marpek, Fishiplier, Anubis, Morning Starlight. Thank you guys. It's good to see you guys again. It's good to see some new faces. It's good to be in this seat. But today is not going to be an easy stream for me. And if it's not easy for me, I fully understand if it is not easy for you to watch or to listen to the things that I need to talk about and the things that I feel I need to fill you in on, and so on and so forth. Alice Class, thank you so much for resubbing 5 months in a row, 9 total. Love you and my family here. Glad you're back. I've been praying for you, Tyler. Appreciate it, Alice. NB Mess, thank you for the 100 bits. It's okay, Tyler. Going through what you did is never easy. Just know that we'll be here for you. Take all the time you need to heal. Gosh darn it. This is why I've been putting off streaming, to be completely frank. And my alert box is screwed up. Let me fix that real quick because I noticed that because I had changed it for the stream. So let me mess with that real quick. I think that should do it. All right. Maybe, I don't know. Here, I'll do this instead. This will just make it easier. All right. Messing with stuff because of the way things are. Doesn't make sense. Anyway. All right. Also, I'm about to play some music in the background. It is royalty-free music from online, so please, Twitch, don't come after me. The artist online that is posting the music that I am playing right now is by White Sand, and it is listed as royalty-free, and everything in the description. I've researched the copyright and done all of that, so this is copyright-free music. The entire playlist is. So Twitch, please don't come after me. It all is royalty-free, copyright-free music. So, all right. Catching back up to all this stuff. NBMS, thank you again for the 100 bits. Sin, thank you for resubbing for 20 whole months. Still absolutely insane to think about. Thank you for being an awesome member of the Illuminati. Rowan162, thank you so much for resubscribing for 12 whole months. That's the full year. Thank you, Rowan162. Love you, Tyler, and hope you're feeling better. I'm hanging in there. Aurora Step Up, thank you so much for the 10 bits. And your kind message. I did read it. I'm struggling reading stuff right now. It's a me, Monica. Thank you so much for resubbing for 17 months. I know what you're going through. Sending you so much love. Many hugs to you. Thank you so much. Sonia Sophie, thank you for the 10 bits. Incoming virtual hug. Thank you so much. And Shepsky Ellie, thank you so much for the 10 bits. You're doing great, Tyler. So. Fish Supplier, thank you for the 500 bits. Tyler, you are incredibly strong. Love you so much. Thank you so much. NB Mess, thank you so much for the 209 bits. I appreciate it so much. All right. Well, we got 2 more minutes, and then the alerts are going away, and the music is going off because I want the focus to be on what I'm talking about and not anything else. And it's going to be quiet. It's going to be uncomfortable. And I'm nervous, I'm terrified, I'm anything you could possibly imagine, anxious, it's hard to describe the feeling, but it's like everything is heightened, every noise I hear, every little tiny thing, it's just what it is. Markipliers, thank you so much for the 100 bits. Donating on behalf of the people in the chat who can't. We're here for you and here to listen. So, I had to write down a list of what I wanted to talk about. Crit, thank you so much for resubbing 8 months in a row. Thank you so much, my dude. Appreciate you a ton. Nim's Delight, thank you so much for subscribing as well, and welcome to the Illuminati. Thank you so much for joining. it's great to have you here. Whew. And alerts are going off now. Alright. So. And music. We'll let this song end. And that's going to be the end of the music for the time being. Hello. Again, everyone, thank you for coming to the stream. It's going to be my first one back, and I plan on streaming hopefully again before I have to take care of some other stuff. But I will try and keep up and stream when I can in the days after this and basically get back into it this month. I didn't want to wait until July. I didn't want to put it off any longer because, frankly, the biggest thing is I have been depressed, which is a part of grief. It's a part of dealing with the loss of somebody who shaped your world. We'll put it that way. Oh, this is hard. I already have tissues on hand, so we're good. We're good. We'll do all the ASMR nose blows and all of that stuff. Every time I blow my nose in a tissue, I'm afraid to use the same tissue to wipe my eyes because I'm like, boogers in my eye. Yeah. But I always hold them inside, so it's okay. All right. So I have been extremely demotivated since coming back to LA for obvious reasons. I've been quiet. I've been trying to focus on the things that I need to take care of and do what I can to maintain livelihood. And I'm doing all right in that category. I'm not forgetting to eat. I'm not forgetting to take care of normal hygiene. I've taken a few walks outside. I went to E3. Like, I'm pushing through. It's the best way to put it, is I'm pushing through. Still not sleeping too well, but hey, that is what it is. But before I get into the detail of anything else, I want to talk about who my mom was as a person. And this is going more in depth than how I knew her and how I viewed her, but that will come. My mom was born to two English parents, whose her mom came over from Canada. She grew up in Canada and British Columbia, and her dad grew up in California on a farm. And both of her grandparents, both sides of her family, are from England. And her father was a minister, so to speak, and her mother was a stay-at-home mom who also was a teacher of sorts. And she had two siblings, a brother and a sister. And my aunt My aunt I'm relatively close to, as well as my cousins on that side with my aunt. And both of her siblings were older than her. Are older than her. Because they're still around. But my mom grew up. She would never say it was completely dirt poor, but they grew up in poverty. Her dad, they kept moving around all over the U.S. My mom was born in Oregon, lived in California, lived in both North and South Dakota, I believe. Lived in Wisconsin. And eventually landed in Ohio later in life. But she grew up moving a lot with minimal friends and relatively poor. Her father, they would jump from Native American reservations and live in houses designated to the church that her father worked in. Always was kind of like a tomboy, but not. She liked dressing up. She liked makeup, but she loved being outdoors. She loved hiking. She loved later in life riding her bike. And even just sitting outside. Her beliefs were her own. They were not shaped by her father or various churches, in a sense. And she believed in a higher power, whether that be a single entity or just nature itself, because to her, nature was a magical thing. The way everything seemed to work in harmony as long as it wasn't interfered with. And yes, global warming is a thing. I'm sorry, but everybody knows we are having an impact. Just look at various things and the way things have changed with pollution and other stuff. And hunting, over hunting. But she was a person who had a love for doing the things outdoors. And obviously in the places that she lived and moved at, she had got to have a horse at one point in her life alongside her sister. Made friends with Native Americans all over the place. And there's plenty of stories I can share about that. But my mom was a person who loved the outdoors and grew up poor. And she had dreams of being a singer at one point, but didn't have the strength to risk it, as she put it, or the belief that if she pursued it, it would work out. She wanted to make sure that she had a family and that her kids and herself never had to worry too much about money. And she originally had thought about going to school to be a hairdresser, somebody who cuts hair and takes care of all of those things, to go to beauty school, but eventually decided to become a pharmacist. She went to school at Ohio State and ended up working after that in Cincinnati after taking and took an incredible road trip with a friend of hers as well. Every single time I talked to her about bucket list stuff, what she wanted to do more than anything was simple. She wasn't one to ask for much, and didn't see the point of going out of the country for the most part. And yes, she wanted to but she didn't see the point when there was so much still to see here in the United States. She wanted to see all of the national parks, all that we had to offer. She wanted to see Glacier. She wanted to see Yosemite. And she loved to dance. Loved her music. She loved my dad. No matter what, when they fought, she still loved. She called me and my brother her greatest achievement. She had so much to give, always. Was the one to take care of everybody else. She volunteered for Donate Life. And no matter what she was going through, she pushed through and did things for others. Around the age of, in her early 20s, had her first big lupus attack and was diagnosed with lupus. And fought through that to have kids. Fought through that to take care of her kids. And fought through that to work and do everything that she could to provide for herself and be solely independent and provide for her family. She went into chronic kidney failure when I was in 4th and 5th grade and received a kidney transplant from her sister when I was in 5th grade. And even through that transplant, she was worried about me, and we always had this discussion about how the counselor at the school pulled me out of class, which she didn't ask for, and how upset that made me because I thought I had lost my mom then. My mom was the person I was closest to in this entire world. And she was the strongest person that I will ever know in every sense of the word. Between her first kidney transplant and her lupus, there was still more. In college, she broke her leg for her first time snow skiing and still made it to her classes all over campus. Made it down for fire alarms because her roommates would carry her down the stairs because they were the ones who took her skiing and did all of that with her. When I was a senior in high school, I thought I was going to lose my mom because she went into chronic kidney failure again as she rejected the kidney transplant before. That year, I won, along with my team, the state title in water polo. which could have been one of the last achievements she saw of mine. But a 2-year-old unfortunately passed away somehow, and somehow made a 6 out of 6 match with my mom, and she got those kidneys my senior year of high school, despite many setbacks that almost made it not happen, with elevated white blood cell counts and everything else. She was a medical marvel. And again, she pushed through all of that, still taking care of us, still working, still doing everything she can, cooking, cleaning. And yeah, we had to step up and do chores in our life. And yeah, she instilled a lot of things in me and my brother that I'm so thankful for, because frankly, she didn't have to. But she wanted to make sure that we were independent. We knew how to do things. We knew how to cook. We knew how to clean. We knew how to budget. Did all of that. She forced me in high school to take a personal finance class, which I took with a small argument, because there was an elective I wanted to take instead, and she said, no, you have to take this, and it worked out. And it's been very helpful in my life. The bucket list vlog thing was entirely my idea, and I surprised her with it. And she thought that would be really cool. And we only got to go on one trip, and I hope at some point to have that video to post. She donated to the Lupus Foundation. She's the one who introduced me to Cincinnati Children's Hospital and took me to Children's American Medical Hospital when I had hematuria and to be diagnosed with my kidney disease. She was there for me every step of the way. Even when I'd be mad at her. And yes, my mom would get mad. She wasn't perfect and she had her flaws, but she was incredible nonetheless. When I was in college, she came to my football games, talked to me frequently, and I would come home occasionally and she would still do my laundry. I didn't live far, and I chose not to live far because of my kidney stuff, and thank goodness I didn't, because I went into chronic kidney failure my end of my sophomore year, and with my kidney transplant my junior year of college. She was my rock and my strength in so many ways. I remember having it out at her and telling her she didn't understand, because she never had to go on dialysis like I did. And then she went off on me and finally told me what her lupus experience was like. And I was in awe. The strength that my mom had was incredible. After my kidney transplant, which she was there for me constantly, tending to me at the hospital. She slept at the hospital when I went through a kidney biopsy when I was in 8th grade, and stayed with me and did everything she could to be there for me. She was the most amazing person I may ever know. I bounce my leg when I'm concentrating too, but thank you. And her leg that she broke in college never healed correctly, and she went through an external fixator and then an ankle replacement. And the external fixator was to literally break her bone, realign it, and reattach it, and then be eligible for an ankle replacement. Got an ankle replacement because she hated that she couldn't walk or hike. That was one of her loves, was to be in nature. And she got to do that for a few years. In December of 2017, when I was going through a rough time in my life, she got diagnosed with the cancer. She had already fought through lupus, kidney failure not once but twice, an external fixator, an ankle replacement, and also she had an emergency thing where she had to have part of her bowel removed because of an issue. She went through a lot. And somehow, I had a feeling this would be the one. I found out just before I went on my hiatus, when I had launched merch and did all of that stuff. And she went and had an emergency hysterectomy of everything because of the uterine cancer. When they checked back up in February, they found no signs. In May, it recurred. I've talked about this cancer many a times. It's extremely aggressive and rather rare. And because of the insurance system in the U.S., they limit what chemo drugs you can use. They have to have been shown to be effective against certain types of cancer. And this one had very minimal things to do. She had reactions to chemo. She had struggles, and only one of the chemos seemed to have worked, and it was the first one, which had her lose her hair, which is why I shaved my head. And when I announced and posted my first YouTube video, she fought long and hard. And she didn't want to go. She didn't want to go whatsoever. But she was okay with it. When it recurred in May, we talked a lot. I traveled to see her as much as I could. Throughout that time, we went on the bucket list trip in August. And she came down to surprise me for my birthday, and then we also went to ELU, which was the last trip I ever got to take with my mom. And she was in pain the whole time, but hid it from everybody. Taking Tylenol, ibuprofen, and stuff chronically. She was in a lot of pain. And last month, just after I had left from visiting her before, the cancer wrapped itself around her bowel and made it shut, making it so she couldn't eat, or at least absorb the nutrients. Stuff wasn't passing through. And there were no surgical options. The only options they had were radiation and various other things, which were risky to consider when they could get it approved and when things could happen. And she was miserable. There were so many issues in the hospital with nurses and orders and various other stuff, and then she went home to hospice, and there were a ton of issues there, and I'll get into that later because that still infuriates me. She had realized during that time that she was gonna die. And so in the last month, I spent more time in Cincinnati with her and my family than I did doing anything else. I helped take care of her, made sure she had pain meds, and only returned back here for going to D&D Live, knowing full well when I left, it could be the last time I see her. But the reason I went was what she instilled in me. You say you're going to do something. You sign on for it. And you follow through. Something she always wanted from me and my brother was for us to stay with our commitments and to live our lives in the way that we needed to do what we do and to live. And when I left, she said, I'll see you on Monday, which was when I returned. That weekend was also the Sunday I did my 12-hour charity live stream for St. Jude. And when I did that extra one, I was at home with her. The change of her condition between the time on Friday to the time I returned on Monday was hard to bear. She was rather coherent with dazes because of the pain meds, which she was on a pain pump the entire time. Was dramatic and apparent. Before she passed, it got to the point where she couldn't stand up. She couldn't talk. She was just in a daze. And I know she would have hated that. We had talked about it a lot. She joked with me and was one of the few that she felt she could talk to about death and be, as she would say, morbid, and I'd say it's realistic. That if she ever got that way, she wouldn't mind being left in the woods to let nature take care of her, as it would. But she also would have been glad she passed at home. We sat outside at times, talked, and the last thing I wrote, she loved my writing. She got to see what I had written for her. And less than a week when I got back, when she finally couldn't really do anything, we had a 24-hour nurse and fully anticipated she wasn't going to make it through the night. And we had set shifts for us to go down and check on everything to make sure everything's going. And my aunt was there. My mom's sister was there. I came down and saw that my mom's time was ending. And I was unsure of what I wanted to do, because I was still in my room and my shift wasn't up until 2. And I came down right when my shift started and saw her pass, holding her hand. I was there till the end. And it wasn't a pleasant thing to experience. But you could feel her pain was lifted. And I'm thankful for that. And I believe she's somewhere singing and dancing and enjoying the world as her energy has entered into nature, into world. Because death gives life. You see it in nature constantly. And this might very well be, and I say this with a giant grain of salt, the hardest loss I will ever deal with, and is most definitely the hardest loss I have dealt with thus far. My mom just wasn't only my mom. She was my best friend. A person I could always talk to, and I talked to her almost every week. I called her after every single medical appointment, and she always checked in on me and wanted to see how I was doing and do as much as she could to help. When I lost my car, she wanted to help me research and find options for travel. My last birthday she got to be here for. She surprised me for my 30th birthday. And I'll always remember that. We had a sixth sense kind of connection that people got to witness. My dad knew it, and we talk about it occasionally too. She is and always will be my strength. And I always remember all the advice she would give me was trust in your heart, trust in your gut. I had her pick out the song we would have danced to if and when I got married. And sure enough, she picked a good one. My taste in music is mostly because of her. The reason I want to sing is because of her. My writing and talent that I found out later in life, as far as my writing goes, comes from her. She wrote poems too. And I never would have made it through my kidney transplant or the things that I have dealt with in my life if not for her. And the only thing I can use to describe the pain that I feel every day is there's a hole somewhere inside of me that may never ever be filled again. And there's so much I still want to do for her, and so much I am going to do for her. But that's not what this stream is about. This stream is about telling you about this last month. She gave me a life better than the one that she had. And when I asked her, when we talked about the bucket list logs, she said she felt fulfilled because all she ever wanted was to have a family, to not move very often. In fact, I grew up in the same house from when I was 1 until when I was 30, essentially. She did an amazing job. And wherever she is, watching over me, spirit in nature, doing what she can, I want to make her proud. And I want to make sure people know who my mom was. And that comes with who I am. That comes with other things I plan to do. But she was by far the number one person in my corner, in my life, and the one person I knew, and I know a lot of other people that I would count on, but the one person I counted on more than anything else. And she never let me down. But the thing that in her last life, she didn't go easily like hospice is designed for. And I'm going to talk about this because this infuriates me to all kinds of heck. And yes, I'm trying to keep it family friendly. When she was in the hospital, there were issues with pain meds. There were issues with nurses not knowing how to do aseptic technique when attaching to a central line. Her pain pump got disconnected and she was in chronic pain overnight. And a nurse realized the tube had to become disconnected from her main line and went to pick it up off the floor and reconnect it, which is a giant no-no. When she came home for hospice, she had to deal with nurses who had no clue what they were doing. She had to deal with orders being screwed up, not being read, and lost in systems, which is not the fault of her doctors. Her doctors were incredible, and the system itself had issues. And she trained people on the system, which is why she did not understand the issues. Even when she was attached to a pain pump and dealing with all kinds of stuff, was actual utter disaster. If not for my dad and my mom's knowledge, hospice probably would have killed her. And nurses in the hospital might have killed her. There's a reason, and I grew up in and out of hospitals. I don't trust many nurses. And I always pay attention and understand my doctor, and I advise you to learn and understand things that are important to you. And understand aseptic technique and understand the proper training and all of that. Because there was tons of incompetence. Made up laws, made up all kinds of stuff, and it was inexcusable and unacceptable, the things that my mom had to put up with when she was at the end of her life. And trust me, she hated it and was angry. The whole point of hospice is to make this time when you are dying comfortable. And yes, they were helpful in some sense, but absolutely terrible. And anybody who works in healthcare, please, for the love of God, I know you know how terrible it is. Underpaid, undertrained. Everybody's trained to do a checklist. It's not about listening to the patient. It's not about paying attention and actually knowing how things work and logical thinking. It's about what is the percentages, what is your trained checklist. Oh, you have this? Well, it's this, even though it might not be because you don't listen. There's also the fact that I've had many of my friends and family deal with going into a hospital. There's a condition underlying, and then a new condition comes up, and they're treating only the recent condition when they could be related. It's absolutely terrible how the U.S. healthcare system is set up, and it pissed me off. And it pissed my mom off, and I hated seeing that at the end of her life. And that's all I'm going to say about that, because I'll just get pissed. I will also talk about something else that was extremely important to me and my mom. Is she donated her body to science, and she trained and taught so many people in the pharmacy that made them their work sons and work daughters. It was absolutely hilarious. Her boss ended up being one of her work sons because she had originally trained him. And she donated her body to science, which means she's still teaching people to this day. And I hope they learn a lot, because there's a lot to see in there. She's got her lupus, her 2 kidney transplants, which means she has 5 kidneys inside of her. Multiple surgeries, the external fixator, the ankle replacement, all of that. And I'm of a firm belief that when you leave your body, that body doesn't matter. And it makes no sense to pay tons of money to bury it and take up space and have to worry about pollution and drainage from a cemetery and all of that. That's of my firm belief. But that's my mom for you. My best friend. Person I learned the most from. And last month, it'll be exactly 1 month and 4 days, I was by her side when she passed. And yes, I'm depressed. And yes, I'm working through it as best I can. And in the last month, there's been a lot of different thoughts going through my head, whether streaming is something I want to continue. And I'm going to be frank with you guys. I don't know. I love interacting with you guys, but I just don't know if this is going to be enough. I know my mom wanted me to pursue acting because that's what I wanted to do. I want to travel, I want to see the world, and I want to continue the bucket list vlogs in her honor, but it's hard to do without her. And I also want to talk about the fact that I am going to seek a therapist and a grief counselor in dealing with this loss and everything with it, because I need somebody to talk to. And in a way, this stream in itself is like therapy, because I haven't really talked about everything that went down when I was at home with anybody. But I do know that I enjoy spending time with the friends that I have in this industry and doing what I can. And I want to shout out and thank a number of people in particular who reached out and have been of tremendous help. A lot of people reached out, and I'm very thankful for every single person who has reached out when I announced about my mom's passing. But Wade and Mark have been invaluable as friends in the last month. The people that I was with at D&D Live were extremely helpful and supportive. Adriana was there. Ellie has been amazing. Gar has been amazing. Kat has gone above and beyond, even though she's not here in the United States right now. My girlfriend Kat, thank you. But Wade and Mark have been invaluable. Having lost a parent themselves, they have been extremely understanding and willing to talk. And after my mom's passing, instead of coming straight back to LA, I actually flew down to Austin and spent a day with Mark and Wade and a few days with Ethan and Bob as well, who are amazing friends as well. Ethan reached out, which meant more than he'll ever know, because I don't know how to explain it. And that time in Austin was an amazing time, because I got to work on an amazing project that Mark's working on that I can't talk about other than that. I got to be with my closest friends and just have fun and enjoy making something amazing. And I'm so thankful for that. And then when I came back to LA, I got to spend a day with Kat before she left for her family stuff, and we've FaceTimed as much as we can, but we text every day, and she's been amazing. My friend Ali, who is going to be moving to another country soon, stayed with me during E3 and went with me to E3 driving and helping out a lot. Has been an amazing friend. Adriana, Nega Oryx. Nega, thank you so much as well. To the people that I have talked to and informed in person about at E3, Ross, Kara, Captain Sparkles, Snugs. Thank you guys so much for understanding and just spending time with me and talking with me. TJ, my dude, that hug meant the world in that Twitch Partner Lounge. You're like a brother to me, my dude. The Only Ryan and Bob. Again, I got to see Bob at E3. Thank you so much. The Only Ryan, thank you for sharing your thoughts as well with me, because you met my mom at ELU. To Brandon and all the amazing people at Extra Life, I thank you tremendously as well for your kindness and understanding. Your kindness towards my mom at ELU was amazing. Absolutely amazing. And I appreciate all my friends that have reached out and talked with me, have come and hang out and distracted me, and helped me just find my way through. All the people online, for your kindness. I read through every single reply to that tweet. Every single one, which is thousands. Means more than you know. My mom actually joked when she was later in life, when everybody was coming to see her, that it was like her memorial that she got to experience. And it was very touching to her, because she got to interact and be around all these people and see all these people who appreciated and loved her before she passed. And I'm going to struggle with this for a while. It's not going to be a one and done thing. It's a grieving process, and I'm going to work at it, and I'm going to go to therapy for it. And I plan on doing a ton of stuff in the future. I just don't have a lot of motivation right now. I haven't been able to work on my books. I haven't been able to do streams. I haven't been able to appeal myself to leave my apartment sometimes, to be completely honest. And I want to thank Nintendo for hosting me by giving me the pass to be able to go to E3. So that's the reason I was able to go to E3. I'm sorry, I had strep most of E3, so you guys might not have seen me that much, and I had meetings and was in and out of different stuff throughout. But huge thank you, Nintendo America. You guys were amazing. You killed E3, and I can't thank you enough for the experience that I got to have at E3. I absolutely loved it. The new Pokemon looks great. Luigi's Mansion cracks me up, and I hope to play it on stream when it comes out. The remake of Link's Awakening, I absolutely love. That is the first Zelda game I ever played, and I played it on Game Boy, and I didn't beat it myself. I got to the final boss by myself, and I had to have my brother beat it, which is why Super Mario Odyssey was the first game that I single-handedly beat from start to finish. there's a lot I'm excited for. And I think I'm going to continue streaming. And I want to be honest with you guys, I didn't get into this to be a gamer. I got into this to act, and I can't thank Mark enough for inviting me out to do all this stuff and being there as a friend. And Amy as well has been amazing and incredible. Just as a friend. I'm very thankful for the people I have in my life. Pam, I know we haven't talked recently, but thank you so much for your text and reaching out. Mikey as well, you have been incredible, and I need to get in touch with Mikey because I need his help for some stuff. But just thank you to all my friends. Thank you to all of my mods, because I heard from pretty much every single one of you. And everybody in this audience, all of you guys have made this incredible amount of appreciation and love that I feel. And it's why I wanted to have this stream, to make sure I told you guys and made sure I was honest with how I am doing, because frankly, I'm not okay, but that's okay. My friend Ali, my dude, just drove across the entire country from San Diego back to Michigan. He's going to be moving to the UK to found a job, and is going to be working for an amazing gaming company that I'm excited to see all the amazing stuff that he does. He's going to kill it. I just know it. He stayed at my place and got to hang out with me and put up with me in a sense throughout all of E3 with my sickness and all of that stuff. Just an absolute great dude. Literally, I've only known him for just over a year. I met Ali, Randy, and Nega at E3 last year, and got to see all of them at E3 this year. And it was really cool to be able to hang out with Ali for that extended amount of time. Saint, you're a saint, to be completely honest. Appreciate you. Just anybody and everybody who's reached out, I can't thank you enough. My family, my extended family, you guys have been absolutely incredible as far as helping out my dad and helping out me, my neighbors and friends from the neighborhood I grew up in. You guys are absolutely the most incredible people in the world. Straight up, when my mom came home after a while and my mom and dad were looking at houses, my mom literally said, "I can't leave. I can't move from here. Everybody here is too nice, and I feel too loved in this neighborhood." My mom said that. And if you're watching, I want you to know that, because that's how I feel too. And this is going to be hard. One of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my entire life is to move forward from this and push through. And I have good days and I have bad days. The good days I'm still sad and demotivated, but I get stuff done. The bad days are when I can't stop thinking about her and crying how I want to talk to her. Want to have one more day with her. Just want to hug her. But moving forward is what I have to do, and it's what she would want. Don't stop living, is what she said. And to remember her. And I will. How many Kleenexes am I going to go through? Good God. So I'm going to bring the alerts back up. And we're going to get back into a normal, regular chatting stream. I'm going to try and recover from this. I've got projects that I want to do. I definitely, in a way, feel burnt out from life. Definitely am depressed. I'm definitely seeking therapy. And I also have a huge announcement to make. I will, in fact, be attending TwitchCon this year down in San Diego. It became official as of today. I am going to go. Hopefully we'll have a couple of panels and a couple of things going on. But I will be attending TwitchCon. TwitchCon 2019. For those of you that will be attending, I will be there. I hope to see a ton of you guys there. My knee, I just finished my last day of physical therapy. Is still a work in progress. I definitely need to get back into working out and re-strengthening. But I am cleared for activity and cleared to do a bunch of stuff finally. I still have to be kind of cautious just because I know my knee and it's been through 3 surgeries now. So taking care of all of that. I plan on releasing the bucket list vlog footage. I plan on having a memory video of some sort regarding my mom. There will be a video from Extra Life for Extra Life United. And 1 month from yesterday, so July 21st, will be a charity live stream that I will be hosting here in both my mom's honor and in the honor of myself and my brother and so many other people who deal with organ failure and are in need of organ transplants around the world. On July 21st will be my 10-year anniversary of my kidney transplant, and we will be doing a charity live stream on July 21st. So be sure and mark your calendars, hype it up, let people know. If you want to make art like banners or different stuff like that, that would be amazing. However you want to share it, however you want to talk about it, there will be a charity live stream on July 21st. So yeah, there will at least be a stream on that day. Those of you that don't know, I'm still doing D&D and have been doing D&D almost every week except for the week of E3 since my mom's passing over at the Lost Initiative show every Wednesday night from 6 p.m. Pacific time till 10 p.m. Pacific time, which is 9 Eastern until 1 a.m. Eastern time. So for those of you that don't know, there's some really, really good, cool, amazing, sad, crazy stuff that has happened. You can check them out on twitch.tv/Lost Initiative Show, which is where it will be live. And if you want to see the VODs, they're saved both on YouTube and on Twitch. If you sub to their channel, you get access to them on Twitch immediately after. Otherwise, they're just on YouTube. So I believe it's the Lost Initiative show on YouTube as well. So yeah, that's a thing as well. Yeah, those are some projects I'm part of. I'm working on another D&D thing, perhaps in the future, and trying to get sponsors and various other stuff. I was talking to my talent manager today with regard to that briefly, and all of those things, just to loop you guys in on all of that happening. Like I said, the majority of the stream was going to be me talking about the last month, but I also want to talk about the future as well. Clap My Trap, thank you so much for subscribing and welcome to the Illuminati. Art Trash Cat, thank you so much for resubbing for 4 months, Cat. Marpek resubbed with her Prime sub. Thank you so much for 19 months of being an awesome member of the Illuminati and an amazing mod. Icy Ashes, thank you for resubbing for 10 months in a row. You are fantastic for being an awesome member of the Illuminati. Pagane Gamer, 89, thank you for the 5 bits. Carmadali, thank you for resubbing for a whole year. Tyler, thank you for sharing. Thank you for being vulnerable. Whatever you decide to do, I know I support you Much love, amigo. Thank you so much, Karmadali, for being an awesome member of the Illuminati and all the support. Sin, thank you so much for the 1,000 bits. Hubba Bubby, thank you so much for using that Twitch Prime sub, and welcome to the Illuminati. NB Mess, thank you for the 100 bits. Whatever you decide to do, you have my support. Thank you so much. Snow, thank you for the tier 3 sub for 18 whole months, being an awesome member of the Illuminati. Appreciate you. Aurora Step Up, thank you for the 10 bits. Always here for you, Tyler. Me and my friend will be praying a lot. I'm sorry you lost your dog. I wish you all the best in grieving process, and everything coming up. July 6th is my mom's birthday, so that's going to be a very difficult day for me. And so I might post something. I might be very silent. I don't know yet, but July 6th is going to be a very tough day for me and my family. I'm actually going to be going back to Ohio for a family reunion in the near future. Is that next weekend? Yeah, next weekend. Next weekend there's a family reunion thing that I'm going to be back in Cincinnati for. It's our Festivus, and that's going to be difficult because that'll be the first time without my mom. So that's going to be tough. Clap My Trap, thank you so much for the 100 bits. I appreciate it so much. So yeah, July 6th is going to be really tough. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be tough going forward. The bucket list vlog stuff I still want to get into, and I'm working at it as best I can. It's going to be harder to pull sponsors, and that's the reality of the situation because it's going to be me going on them. And I'm going to try and include my brother and my dad for things that I can. Eventually going to get my mom's ashes that will be going with me to places. But for now, it's going to be just me when and if I can get it off the ground. Still working on that. So yeah, a bunch of stuff that's going on, a bunch of stuff I'm working on, and trying to write my books because I have more books than you know of that I'm trying to write. Poetry related, story related, everything related. It's a lot, and I haven't been writing because I'm not motivated. Frankly, I have been on my couch. I binge watched the new Jessica Jones season, which I actually really liked. Might be sadly the last one. At least it will be the last one on Netflix. What else did I binge watch? I binge watched and caught up on all my DC shows. And yeah. And I've been paying attention to baseball again because I love baseball. The Reds are on a winning streak, and that's good news on that front. So, Snowball, thank you for the 100 bits. No words can ever make this easier, but no, we are always here for you. We love you and appreciate you so much. Sending the biggest cyber hug I can. Thank you so much for the 100 bits. NB Mess, thank you for the 200 bits. Big cyber hug from me to you. Thank you so much. Thanks, Kat, for cheering for the Reds. So yeah, that's the gist of everything that's going on. I'm going to continued to try and push through, get into acting. Oh, who's playing the Wizards Unite game, the new Harry Potter game? Because I got into that. And I'm kind of enjoying it, but I hate the energy with regard to it. How it doesn't recharge on its own. I can't stand that because it's like it's straight up like you can't compile an endless amount of energy like you can with like Pokemon and Pokeballs. So it's frustrating to me, but it's also nice because then it forces you to get out. So I'm going to take a walk to try and get a bunch of energy too. I'm not going to pay for the energy, Cat. No. You go to the ends, but I am heavily regarded as a Gryffindor due to Pottermore and all of that, which Pottermore apparently moved, which is a different thing. Yeah. Shepsky, thank you for the 10 bits. And NB Mess, thank you for 200 bits in the cyber hug. Chip Scaly, I'm not great with words in these situations, but when I do find the words, I always make sure to DM you on Instagram. But for now, I just hope you can feel all the support, positivity, love coming your way. I try to do something to show it, but just know whatever you need to do, I support you and absolutely agree that you need to go hard into acting. Love you, bub. I'm going to be writing a song in my mom's honor. I don't know how long that's going to take. I don't know what that's going to be, but that's going to be a thing in the works and in the future. I'm going to talk to my friend Dan the Piano Man from Tour, or Music Man Dan, however you want to know him as. I briefly texted him, and hopefully we'll be touching base and getting in touch with him on that. I'm going to be trying to get in touch with Mikey about messing with my setup and helping fine-tune some things. And I'm going to talk to Ali about getting the rest of my emote slots filled, creating new emotes. So if you have ideas for emotes, please use the Discord. We're going to put, if we can, I'm going to see if I can create a channel for emote ideas, revolving around me, myself, the community that exists, stuff like that. If you have an idea for an emote, please share that in the Discord when I create the channel, which I will try and do right now. I'll pull up Discord right now and try and create the moat. Why do I forget how to do things? I'm like moving my head and I'm like, that doesn't move windows, dummy. Excuse my burp. I will be trying to get back into games. Don't know if I'll be streaming again today or tomorrow. And I'm going to meet up with some friends on Monday, and I have to pack at some point to be going to that. All right, let me create channel, text channel. Mode ideas should be under topical discussion rooms. Where'd I put it? Where'd it go? There it is. Mode ideas is now in topical discussion rooms. Under art stuff. So oh yeah, heart related would be really good. So emote ideas is now in there. I'm actually going to edit the name of the channel because I don't like the dash. I'd rather have an underscore. So that exists now. Permissions. Yep. All right, cool. So emote ideas exist. Dutes. I put Dutes in there because we definitely need a Dutes emote. So, all right, created that, took care of that. Yes, if you want to draw out your ideas, you can post them in there. Keep in mind the emote guidelines. So if you're going to draw out emote, make sure you look up the Twitch emote guidelines, and use the biggest size as your template. So, yeah. So be sure and do that. I'm going to be ending the stream in the next 10 minutes just because it seems to fit for what the theme was today. what we needed to talk about and do all of those things. So I open up the floor to you guys. What questions do you have for me? They can be about my mom. They can be about anything else. If you wanted to send something with regards to memory and my mom, use my Extra Life link. That's this badge right here down below. Those donations go to Children's Miracle Network hospitals. That is what she asked that we do, as opposed to sending flowers or gifts in memory for your condolences and all of that. We asked that you would do a donation in her honor. So if you would like to do that, you are welcome to do that. Please use that Extra Life link that exists, and you can just make a note that it's in the memory of my mom. So I'll answer that question off the bat if you wanted to do something like that. Appreciate all the people that have reached out and said if I ever want to talk, that they're there. I appreciate it. NBMS, thank you so much for the 300 bits. Appreciate that message so much. I like Kat a lot. I really do. I appreciate her in my life more than you know. She's great. She is great. Aurora Sebop, thank you for the 10 bits and offering to give me a bear hug. Appreciate it so much, so much. Any questions? What questions do you have for me? Do you have questions about TwitchCon? Do you have questions about other conventions that I might or might not be going to? Questions about things that I want to do or anything else? For your acting, what kind of stuff would you want to get into? Traditional media, so it could be movies or TV shows. I would love to get into movies, just because you get to spend more time, I think, on a character. One of my big goals is I'm actually going to do a cosplay photo shoot at some point. I need to get in shape first, but then I'm going to do, have somebody create a really, really amazing Superman costume and at Warner Brothers to try and get the Superman role, if they're not using the same actor, or if anything, become a lookalike for that actor. Who knows? Because ever since I moved to LA, and even when I was younger, about 10 years back, people asked me if I was related to Christopher Reeves. So that's one of the things. Yes, Neil, you can at me on Twitter about that. I don't know Mark Mufan because I haven't submitted for my panel stuff, but I hope so. I hope to be on panels that you will see on Twitch. I hope to be a part of various things. It's still to be determined. I wasn't exactly invited by TwitchCon other than the fact that I'm a partner. I am literally applying for creating a panel and being a part of a panel that a friend invited me to be a part of. A hobby that I'm willing to do in the future, music. I'm teaching myself guitar, so I guess playing music. I write. So those are kind of my hobbies for the most part. I love athletics and sports. I would love to be a lifetime athlete. I don't think I'm going to PAX West. No, Snow. It does not look like I will be going to PAX West. As much as I would love to, it just didn't make sense for me. Yes, Weekend Wept. When those are done, you will see them. They will be posted. I will at Warner Brothers. I will at DC Universe. I will do all of that. All of that. And I would be fine with going as Wolverine if I don't get Superman. I don't know if they'd want me as Wolverine, but hey. Best way to get started streaming is to just start. Just start. Download OBS, figure out your webcam, and go live. Do it. You can work on figuring more stuff out and how to set things up with Streamlabs and everything else later. Just do that. TwitchCon is end of September. I believe it's like the 27th through the 29th. So what happened with me trying to go on American Ninja Warrior? That's a long story, but American Ninja Warrior kind of did me dirty. And my body has not been holding up real well, which is why I haven't been pushing to try and be on The Rock's new game show, the Titan Games, which is what my more recent goal has been related to, that I started this year, but then I had the knee issue. VidCon. I honestly, the only way I'll end up going, I wasn't invited as a featured creator, and I'm a little bitter that they invited not so good people, in my opinion, to be a part of it. For example, Tana from TanaCon last year, who clearly, like, I don't know if it was purposeful, but so many people were hurt in that entire scandal that, and then she got invited to be a featured creator, was kind of So the only way I would end up going to VidCon, VidCon's always in Anaheim. VidCon would be if like Mark had invited me along like he did last year. That's the reason I was able to be there last year, is because of Mark. So that would be the only way I end up there, which means more than likely I will not be attending VidCon, because Mark, I believe, only gets 1+1, and as far as I'm concerned, that most definitely should be Amy. Ken, thank you so much for the 100 bits. So sorry I'm late, Tyler. I'm going to be quick and to the point. Glad to see you're doing well. I know this past month hasn't been easy for you, and just know we'll always be here for you every step of the way. Oh, important thing. Those of you that were here for the stream, please let others know about my mom's passing. I do not want to, in future streams, have people asking about how my mom is doing. It'll just take me out of the stream and probably make me depressed. So one of the big things that, and I don't want mods to be like deleting or like making people feel bad for doing it, because it's an honest consideration thing and I appreciate it. But be sure and let people know politely if people do ask, and such like that. And however you feel is the best way to do it, through Discord or when you see them ask or anything like that. Please let people know that my mom has passed away. It's just an awkward situation that I don't like to address. And one of the biggest things I do when people ask me how I'm doing is I'm going to be honest with them. And so, like, I just don't want to necessarily see a whole bunch of that. It's going to happen, and I don't want people punished for asking, because I consider it very considerate, especially with the video. So please, if you see a way to let people know, I would greatly appreciate it, just so that I can kind of avoid that question coming up. Because, yeah, I'm sure you can understand that. So that was a thing that I wanted to make sure got noted and put out there. Other than that, thank you guys so much for being a part of this stream, hanging out with me, listening to me, putting up with my crying. My eyes are actually white for the first time in this entire stream, which I just looked over and I'm amazed at. Huge thank you again to all of my friends, all of you guys, and everybody who has reached out and been a tremendous support. Thank you for being so patient with me. Thank you for the people that have stayed sub, despite the fact that I haven't streamed in so long. Thank you for everybody who made St. Jude's stream reach our goal and be successful. I'm so incredibly proud of that and thankful for that. That was the last charity stream I ever did with my mom alive, and so it meant a lot to me that we were able to raise so much money for an amazing cause. And I just can't thank you guys enough for the support you show me here on this channel, in life in general, on Twitter, on Instagram, and on other channels, like when I do D&D stuff over on the Lost Initiative show, or when I go to events. Absolutely incredible. I would not be able to be able to take the time off if not for Mark and if not for you guys and your understanding. It's honestly amazing to have a job where when something so tragic as my mom's passing happens, that I'm able to have people that have my back and allow me to have as much time as I need to be able to process and get to a point to where I'm able to do what I need to do for my job, for my career, and for everything. It's amazing, and I can't thank you enough for this opportunity. Appreciate you guys so much. Wish you all the best, and hope it won't be too long until the next time that I see you. Maybe we'll be playing games later tonight or tomorrow. You never know. Ken, thank you for the 25 bits. Thank you for all the resubs. Thank you for all the bits. Anybody who donated in honor of my mom or wants to do something in honor of my mom, please donate on the Extra Life badge right here that's down below. Everything goes straight to Children's Miracle Network hospitals, in particular Cincinnati Children's Hospital, which was the local one for my mom and for me that we supported so much. Again, charity live stream July 21st for Donate Life or UNOS or something related to helping people that go through organ failure and are in need of transplants. Please, please, please be there, be creative, keep being you, see the value that exists, because my mom, before she passed, never thought she had made such an impact. But when she was in her final days, the amount of people that came forward was amazing. Your life matters. You are important. You are loved. And you are appreciated. Smile always. Even through the tough times, there's a reason to smile. I'll see you guys next time. Bye, everybody. Bye.